Okay. So, welcome. My name is Jaylenice, and welcome back to Ep.2 of Before the Shift. Now, today we are talking about jobs, money, and money manifestation. Hopefully, this video helps you get a job, manifest more jobs. Hey, why not? Multiple forms of income is always great. Manifest a promotion or just getting more money in general, and how to do that. You know that clip on TikTok that went viral. It was like, I don't need rent money, mom. I need dimes, motherfucking dimes. That's how you gotta feel when it comes to money. Now, let's start with a little bit of a background story as to my forms of income. So, the job that I actually currently have, my number one job right now, is my first job that I've gotten when I was 16 years old. So, yes, we are going on 10 full years of working at this job. For starters, now I did start off working with kids. I worked as a party host. Now, to think that is something that is still going strong in today's economy, society, our new age technology is actually pretty shocking. And I'll get more in depth as to what I mean by that. But that is one of the many jobs that I've had, because that was not my only form of income. I went to college at one point, and when I went to college, but that wasn't my only form of income. It also wasn't an as consistent job as it is now. I got a promotion 2 years ago, but I'll talk about that in this video as well. But at the time, it was just a weekend job. So I had so many filler jobs in between that job up until now. I was a camp counselor. And then I went off to college and I worked the kitchen staff at college. Like, I was literally cutting onions, serving food. That was the same food that I would eat. Isn't that crazy? Along with being a part of the kitchen staff, I was a special needs assistant where I literally lived in homes of people that outgrew special needs group homes, and they were working on living by themselves, and they kind of just needed adult assistance. So I worked with that. Mind you, minimum wage was like $13 at the time, and I was full blown getting beat up. I was getting beat up by full grown. I can't say it like that, but I could say it like that because we were trained, to like reject the hits and stuff, but I was still getting hit for $13 an hour. Could you believe that? It's crazy stuff. I was also a food town clerk. Like, I had to remember the numbers for like the fruits and the pineapples and the oranges. I don't remember not one of those numbers, but could you believe that I had to remember all them numbers? Crazy. I did that as well. I was a babysitter for a long period of my life. I would say from about like 2018 all the way up to a little bit after COVID. I would say like 2020, 2021 is when I stopped babysitting by choice, really. I had a family move out of state. And once they moved out of state, I didn't really want to go into that field anymore. I think that was just a place and time in my life that I outgrew. But it definitely was one of my favorite jobs because I love working with kids, as you know. But the line of work that I work with kids in now is just such a better environment for me, and I realized that it works best. Then I went into DoorDash. When COVID hit and the babysitting stopped, I was like, I still need to make bread. I know I was getting that stimmy. We're not doing this right now. But I am somebody who has been solely dependent on themselves since the age of 18 years old. Every food, everything in this house, I bought all of my bills, every last one of my bills, my phone bill, my light bill, my rent bill, everything comes from me. And that is something that I honor myself in doing. It is definitely no way, shape, or form like downplaying that, because yeah, I do all of this at 26 years old. Yes, I do. But that just goes to show the level of ambition that I had to have when it came to getting a higher income or getting more money than the money I was currently getting in. So all of those jobs. I was also a movie theater host. I worked at a movie theater. I was serving popcorn, but it was a dine-in movie theater. So it was a movie theater where you sat down, where you got fed food, stuff like that. So I did it all. I literally did it all. You name it, I did it. The one thing I didn't do that I would say, if you don't count like the kitchen staff in college, like I never worked a food service. Like I never worked like a McDonald's or like as a waitress. I was looking into waitressing a few years ago, like 2, 3 years ago before I got the promotion at my current job. But I was like, I don't know. Like it's just something I never stepped into. That and retail. Like I don't know why I didn't step into retail, because I love clothes. Like y'all know me. I have 2 whole closets. I love clothes. But I never got into retail. I just never seen it as necessary. And that leads into me becoming my own personal business owner. Now, also during COVID, I found a lot of passions that I like to do. One being hair. I realized I love doing hair, mostly because I had to deal with my own natural hair for so long. I just gradually started learning how to do retwists and how to braid other people's hair. And that is genuinely something that I perfected myself in. And then I realized that I can monetize that later on in life. Before I monetized my braiding company, I guess you could say, I actually monetized sewing. I fell in love with sewing mid-COVID. I had this mini little sewing machine that like you got from Michael's. It wasn't even those official ones. It was like a mini sewing machine, and I was making tops. I even know that on TikTok, I have a very old video of me like making my first top, and I just loved it. And everything that I do, I realize later down the line, I love to perfect it. Like if I can't perfect a top that I make, I'm not going to wear it outside. If I can't perfect a bag that I'm going to give to a friend, I'm not going to give it to that friend. So that is just my form of mentality when it comes to things that I love doing personally. Now, I didn't really see it as something I can monetize, something I can sell to my friends until they started to like the products that I was posting. For example, I remember making 2 pieces out of these mesh fabrics that I got from Joann's, and people were like, how do I get one? And I was like, I didn't really think about that part. But I remember that I found a product, and I'll post it right here. It was literally these cute handkerchief bags, and I realized that they only took about 1 to 2 hours to make, and everybody loved them. So those went double platinum on the streets. If you remember buying my handkerchief bag, if you bought any bag from me, anything sewing related in the past, if you've even sent a client to me, I am actually personally thanking you, because you don't know how much that means to me, especially for someone as independent as I am. Thank you. Like that means the world to me. And I never realized that my passions and the things that I love to do as hobbies could be monetized somewhere down the line. So I am here to tell you, if you have a passion and you are willing to perfect that passion, you can be paid, and there's no taxing when it comes to being paid out of pocket, service for product, or service for service. Does that make sense? Through all of those, even the job that I have currently, I realize my own monetary value. That brings me into something else. Another tip that could help you if you're looking for a job. Minimum wage in today's economy is actually insane. I remember I tried to look for a job about 2 years ago, and I realized that most of these jobs are paying like $16, and I was like, $16? $16 can't even buy me an Uber to work. So I'm like, I don't know. And that just brings me into even my last statement, that I realized that the job I've been working since I was 16 is God sent. That job is God sent. And my manager knows this, my coworkers knows this. I'm very antisocial in regards to my person, but my job is very, 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 very social. I work with kids. Like the minute I clock in, I am dealing with 20 kids at a time. But then I also realized that my personality fits my work environment so well. One, because I genuinely love what I do. I have passion in what I do. I don't want to give too much of what I do, because I don't really want to state my place of work online, but I have such a deep love for what I do. And I feel like through my work, it shows. You can compare my job to a waitressing job, because I work with parents and kids. I'm providing an experience for everyone that comes to that child's birthday party. And since I love my job so much, it is a promised experience, not only for the parents, but it's a promised experience for the kids as well. And that just brings me so much love and light. And on top of being paid, the way that I'm paid brings me into my next statement, that Once you realize that there is a need for something in today's economy and you can provide that service, and you are one of the very few people who can provide that service, you hit gold immediately, especially if you love your job. But then that's just me rambling about things I've said before. But for things such as food, which is why I said go into waitressing, they tip in food in those areas of work. So if you want to be a stripper, be a stripper. If you want to be a bartender, be a bartender. But if you want to waitress, something more on the innocent side, you could waitress. If you want a movie theater host, you can movie theater host. What else? Those are just the three main jobs I know that involve gratuity. And if the job involves gratuity and you are good at the job, there is so many routes you can go, not only within that job, within that line of work. There's so much you can do within that line of work, but if you have the work ethic for it, you are immediately at the top of the list. And I think that is a service that I provided for my job for years. Nobody has a voice as loud as me. Nobody genuinely knows how to keep kids in line as good as me. This is just me dusting the dirt off my shoulders. But these are just things that I know I bring to my company personally that they can't just find anywhere out on the street. Now, we are going to get into the manifestation part of it all, because I've already told you about having a good work ethic. I told you about the love for it. So find something within the lines of work that's paid by the government that you love, and you are good to go. But that doesn't shy away from having an amazing work ethic. Every line of work that I've done, whether it be the food town clerk, whether it be the babysitting, whether it be the DoorDash. I one time DoorDash and made $106. I'll never forget this, in like 2 hours. And back in the day, this was like 2020 when I did this, but for at that time in that state's economy, that was really like short amount of time for a large payout. But that's because my work ethic was, I was door to door. I was in and out. If the food took more than 5 minutes, I declined it and I picked up the next higher paying DoorDash that was out there. And I just say that to say, because you have to have that kind of mentality when it comes to everything. Now, of course, my own circumstances, I wouldn't say that my work ethic was something that I was forced upon, but from a young age, I always had this grinder mentality. Like, I had to go out and go get it, or else, like, it's either that or I'm dead. It's either that or I'm not eating. It's either that or I don't have housing. So, like, you know, I've had a very, like, get out and go get them mentality ever since I was 16. And that definitely helped me in every job that I've had. Hands down. Really, just stop. Everybody stop. And then there comes a point in time where you kind of realize that there is money everywhere. And that's when I fully branched into doing something as a hobby and fully monetizing it. For example, getting the Instagram page for both of my businesses, getting the LLC for both of my businesses. Now, I also do want to add, this is something that they don't really tell you. One, signing up for an LLC, or two, just in general as a business owner. I plan to get my LLC so that I can get credit cards and things of that nature that were out of my credit score bracket. Now, if you don't know what that means, my credit score isn't the best. It is around 700, but it isn't the best. It could definitely be much better than that. It was like 540 4 years ago, and in comparison, that is amazing. I jumped like 120, 180 points, I think. So that alone is just an example for in the past that I needed the LLC in order to get credit cards, in order to sign off on loans and things like that. But I'm saying that to say, if you are not in any kind of debt, get an LLC. Even if you don't have a like set business, make it up. I don't care. Make it up and make yourself the sole owner. Me personally, I was in debt, so I couldn't get the credit cards that I wanted. Do you believe that you have to pay off your debt? It does not matter. It could be progressive debt that got sent to collections. It could be college debt, because I am a college dropout. Yes, I am. They will not let you sign off on getting a credit card until that debt is paid off. So if you didn't know that, you know that now. If you want an LLC, pay off your debt. I say that to say with a lot of other things, you have to want it. If you don't see a higher form of living for yourself, you're not going to have the ambition to go out and get more money. I currently have 3 streams of income: my main job, and then I hem and sew things on the side, and then I also braid hair. This is just me outing my pockets, but I love and trust you guys. I make over $1,000 a week simply because I have my braiding company, which brings me in about $700 monthly, and that's on my highest paying month. And for example, it's prom season, it's also summer, so a lot of people are getting their hair done. It's not the same in the winter, it's not the same mid-school season. So these are all things to play into when fully depending on a business, I would say. I'm fully dependent on my current job, which gets most of my energy on the weekends, on the weekdays, and the promotion that I got. So, my God. First off, my God, yes, my God is an amazing God. But secondly, I say my job is so God sent simply because they kind of chose me at a time where I needed them most. And I say that to say because I was working a movie theater job. The universe knew that me and schedules never really got along. I hate waking up. I hate the mornings. Like, me in the mornings never work. But I also remember writing in my notebook years ago, and if I can find it and take a picture and put it in here, but I remember working my special needs assistant job and writing out that I hated waking up early because I had to be at that job at 7 a.m. I was like, I want to make my own schedule. That's it. Like, I didn't know how I would be able to do that, but I was like, God, I want to make my own schedule, but I want to be able to pick my job, but I want to be able to still do what I love, but I want to still be able to work out, because at the time I was still making amazing money on the weekends, but I needed something for the weekday because I just needed more money. I needed more income to sustain the lifestyle that I wanted. And this is another point. If you have a lifestyle that you would like to sustain and you know you need more money, get off your ass and go get it. But they gave me that promotion at such a time, and I just remember them asking me, you work very well with parties. You've known the party dynamic for 10 plus years. Do you want to work within the office to help market our parties and to help book parties? And I was like, mind you, I'm a college dropout. Mind you, I did not know how to work Excel. Mind you, I never had a call service job where like I called people on the phone, but I knew that I was really good with talking to parents in person. So the phone couldn't have been much different, you know. But my manager, I'm not going to say her name, she knows she's such a blessing in my life, and I will never like stop thanking her for this. I know this isn't my final call in life. I know this isn't the end all be all, but in today's economy, in today's society, in my own circumstances, this was such a blessing for my life. And a lot of people will never understand that. A lot of my own friends will never understand that. I've been solely dependent on myself since 16. So when she asked me that and wanted to extend my pay and wanted to have me work on the weekdays but also make my own schedule, I was almost like, God, is this a dream? Like, are you messing with me? Like, for the first 3 months of the promotion, I was like, is this real? Like, me and her would talk every weekend, and she would work out the weekdays that worked for me, that I wanted to work, and that's just what it was. I also hated long hours. She worked with that too, because I work long hours on the weekends, but on the weekdays, I work no more than 5-6 hours, and I love that. And I love that even more. I created it for myself. I literally created this lifestyle for myself. God did first, but like I did immediately second, because I manifested and wanted that for myself. So although the path may not be clear on how or when you get it, have that depiction of what you want your life to look like, and I swear to you, God will deliver. So that just leads me into having to want it, and you gotta want it. Like, that's just one of the main, is the number one aspect in manifesting. You have to want it regardless of how you think you're gonna get it, how you think you're gonna maintain it. Just want it first. Want it, everything else will do the job afterwards. So I say that to say, to fully lead me into the money manifestation portion of this video. because it is all about your thought process. And I will make a whole nother video about manifestation alone. Just leave questions down below. But in a quick way, it takes all your 5 senses. And I say that to say because you got to touch, taste, smell, hear, and see it for yourself before it's even visibly clear, before it is in your 3D reality. You still have to act as if it is in your 3D reality. I will get more in depth with that, but in regards to money alone, act as if it's in your 3D reality. In regards to the job and the kind of schedule and what time you want to wake up in the morning, even though you don't know, act as if it's in your 3D reality. So those are just quick tips as to how to quickly manifest a job that you want along your standards, a payout that you want along your standards. You know what? I don't even care if you don't have the college degree for something. Go on Indeed, put your range of pay, and let God do the rest. I swear something will show up. But that's just me giving you tea. That is just me giving you tea. Before I got the promotion at my job, I was looking into jobs and I was still getting paid a substantial amount of money because I found a little tweak in the system, whether that be the gratuity payout, whether that be, I remember I got a job. I got an acceptance of a job. I didn't get the job, but they accepted me to be a manager at a daycare. And very few of my friends know this story. But not that I lied. I didn't lie, but I tweaked the truth on my bachelor's degree, I think it was at the time. I never had a bachelor's degree. Did I tweak and lie and say I did? Yes, I did. But right before I got the acceptance to that job, I think I got the movie theater job. So I didn't want that job because I was like, okay, I think I'm well off now. Like, I don't got to lie on my resume. But I'm just saying that to say you could still get accepted. If you tweak and lie a little bit, it's fine. And then all in all, see it through. You are not going to get that immediate validation off of just praying the first 3 nights. Like, yeah, I'm going to get this job. It may take weeks. It may take months, but you have to stick to the grain of what you want. Like, you got to stick to the code. You got to stick to the storyline. Don't undermine your own manifestations, because then you're just going to keep changing them and it's not going to be as clear of a vision. I don't care if you get rejected 18 times. That 19th time might be the win. But if you get rejected that 18th time and you change your ambition, or you change the line of work, or you think you have to tweak it here, then, whither, where, don't do that. Stick to the code and have faith. Like, pretend it's just you. Even if you have your boyfriend, even if you have your parents, even if you have your friends, your closest of friends, isolate all that out and just think about yourself. When they say tunnel vision, they mean tunnel vision, because it genuinely takes tunnel vision to get exactly what you want in life. And I say that to say because I don't know if a lot of you guys watched all the way through my celibacy journey, but I manifested getting a blue couch. And my first apartment that I ever moved into by myself, there was a blue couch already there. She provided the blue couch for me. No one believes that story, but that is a true story, and that is just a testimony of how powerful the universe is, how powerful God is. You just have to believe in Him and stick to the code and stick in yourself and stick to that ambition and have that ambition, have that work ethic. I say that to say, I hope this video helped in any way, shape, or form for you to manifest money, for you to get a promotion at your job, for you to even just have more ambition for money as a whole. Go get that extra form of income. Go promote yourself. Go monetize yourself. You are amazing. Your talent is amazing. Your craft is amazing. And I would love it. Honestly, I have a question here, but before that question, if you have a business, if you have a talent, if you have a decorating company, if you have a baking company, I would love for you to leave that down below, please, in the comments. Before anything else, leave your business down below. If you have a small business, a big business, a business you love, a business that you work for, leave it down below and promote it in your own way. But the question that I have for today's podcast, and I thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far, my question for today is, what is a talent of yours that you think you can monetize. Now, for me personally, I don't want to give you guys something that I've already turned into a business or a monetization. But for me, I kind of want it to be what I'm doing right now. I feel like I've always helped people in regards to just speaking my mind and speaking my truth and helping people out mentally. But not that I want to monetize that. I want to expand that. I want to take this audience and expand it. I want this video to have 100,000 views. I do. And I'm not going to move or shake from that thought or idea because I believe in myself. And I think now it's time to monetize my person and monetize my spirituality and monetize my love for God and the universe. I'm just getting into it now. It's also like 10 p.m. at night, so stick with me. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you, and leave the answer to your question down below. And I'll see you guys in my next Before the Shift podcast. I love you so much, guys.